21% increase last year in foreclosure filings. Your first instinct is probably, oh my God, is this coming from me? Well, that's the national number, and it's really about regional and local issues that hit people specifically. So while some states are getting hit hard, others aren't really feeling it. Here's what's actually happening. Adam's mid-year report for 2026 found that roughly 227,000 properties across the entire US received a foreclosure filing in the first half of the year. 21 states posted year-over-year increases, and Florida stood out because, well, the cost of everything down there is getting crazy and it's getting very expensive to actually keep a house. While 21 states were going up, that means about 30 were flat or improving. So this isn't uniform across the board for the country. It's split. So before your brain goes to 2008, let's talk about why that was different. The subprime lending then was collapsing everywhere, which meant it was everywhere. It was systemic. It was hitting everything pretty much equally. Maybe not entirely, but more than this. What we're looking at now is slower. It's this uneven squeeze that's concentrated in different pockets of the country. So some states are absorbing real pressures, and other states, they're not seeing any issues at all. And that distinction matters because it changes what you can do about it depending on where you live and what your situation is. So let's talk about the 21% because that jump nationally sounds huge, but you need to remember that it was actually measured based on the historically low new base that we have because of the foreclosure activity that had been suppressed during the pandemic era. Now, protections were put in place and they have now ended, which is partly why we're seeing this increase. It's a move towards normal. We are not experiencing a new crisis per se, but this is still something worth watching because, well, as the national percentages increase, we are seeing areas that are getting this concentrated. And the states seeing those jumps are the ones where affordability pressures have been building quietly for quite a while. In Florida, well, they've been climbing faster than anybody else. They are the standout in this and not in a good way. The real question you're probably having though is, okay, isn't this a crisis because some states are having this happen? Well, yes and no, but you're also probably wondering, is this going to affect me? And that depends on one of three positions because here's the part that most people are not talking about, which is what you actually should do based on your situation and this information. So it's going to change whether you're a homeowner, a buyer, or neither. So let's go through all three. If you're a homeowner and you live in one of the states seeing increases, especially Florida, the single most useful thing you can do is act early if you are falling behind. Do not wait for the notice. Foreclosure timelines can vary wildly from state to state. Some move really fast and some take months. Reach out to your loan servicer before you miss a payment, not after. HUD-approved housing counselors at HUD.gov are free and can walk you through options most people don't even know exist, like forbearances and repayment plans. And these happen before foreclosure is even on the table. So take care of this. If you're watching the housing market as a buyer or investor, rising filings in specific regions can eventually mean more inventory and a softer pricing. But don't treat a foreclosure headline as a green light by itself. Look at why filings are rising in that specific area before assuming it's a deal. Remember, there's insurance costs, tax reassessments, local job markets that all factor into this. And they don't disappear just because the property is in foreclosure. And if you're not one of these, in one of these states, and you're not looking to buy or sell, it's still worth tracking because regional foreclosure spikes are usually a leading indicator of broader cost of living stresses, in that area and other areas, because insurance companies, they like to raise your rates, even if you're not in, say, a tornado zone. So watching all these pressures gives you a lot of information about the economy as a whole and what's actually straining. It shows up in these well before the actual national headlines. So 21 states, we have an uneven trend and three very different playbooks depending on where you stand. That's the story behind this numbers. It's not a crisis. It's a squeeze worth paying attention to. And if you're anywhere near these areas, you're probably really feeling that squeeze. So comment below if you're seeing prices that are going up or going down in your area. And if you want to get out of your debt, check out my school community to learn how to do it faster without working yourself to death or living on rice and beans. Be sure to subscribe, like, all the things. And until next time, have a great day. Remember, think differently, take control, be a renegade.